All right. Thanks for listening to The Greatest Story Ever Told, WAIF, 88.3 FM Cincinnati, worldwide, www.waif883.org. We've got a big show today. We've got our Bass-Tacular special. We've got two special guests here we're going to be speaking to in just a couple minutes. We've got Richey and Freekbass in studio. So we're going to get to them in just a couple minutes. I'm going to play a quick tune for you guys, of course, by the Grateful Dead. And we'll get back to some good stuff in just a second.
Bring out today!
right, that was a bass solo, a little jam bass solo, and they were just getting ready to go into Sugar Magnolia. That was from a long time ago, February 24th, 1973, the Iowa Fieldhouse, University of Iowa, Iowa City, Iowa. Yeah, well, that was the one bass solo that when Phil Lesh was asked about his famous bass solos, he doesn't remember playing any bass solos, and this one was specifically brought up, and he's like, I don't remember that. So, yeah, there you go. A little reminder there, Phil, for you. That was your bass solo from 73 that you're well known for. So, yeah, we've got some rock and roll royalty in town here, and they're in studio here at The Greatest Story Ever Told. We've got the, I guess you could call him the Prince of Funk and the Queen of the Blues here, Kelly Richey and Freekbass.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I like that. That's a new little tag you got there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't be the king. I mean, Bootsy's still in
That's
town.
all right. That's how I understand. We're in Cincinnati, much
right.
props,
Right, so we got these guys in studio. They've got a lot of new things coming on. These are two names that, if you've been in the Cincinnati music scene for any time, you definitely know about these guys. They've seen it all, done it all type of thing. Talk about couple name drops here. Freekbass, Bootsy's, I guess you'd call him protege. He's had at least 5 CDs out. Played with Bootsy, Steve Malitz, Mike Gordon, Headtronics. He's got a DVD, an instructional DVD out, how to play bass. Freekbot. Some people call him the best funk bassist in the U.S. Kelly Richey, of course, she's a veteran of the Cincinnati music scene, been playing live for over 30 years. Kind of one of those seen it all, done it all. A lot of people call her one of the best blues guitarists today. 30-plus years of touring. She has the well-known band, the Kelly Richey Band. Also has a charity I'm sure she's going to mention here a little bit later, Music for Change. She's a CEO of that. And a lot of people call her, at least most reviewers I've seen, the SRV trapped inside the body with Janis Joplin screaming to get out. That's the one that review everybody kept referring to when I was looking you up. So yeah, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
I'll let you guys kind of talk a little bit about the new band. You guys have a new band out now.
Yep, go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, I've had several incarnations of the Kelly Richey Band, and I'm so excited about this one. Freekbass contacted me this late in the fall and said he heard that I was, looking to potentially make some changes in what I want to talk, and I said, God, I'd love to. It never even entered my mind because he's had his own, project going on for so long. I never thought that we'd do anything but pass each other on and off stages at festivals, and we'd never really even had a conversation or probably even officially met. Right. So I was excited to get together with him and see what that might mean. And I had just completed writing the material for my CD that we're going to be hearing from that today that we're just now getting released this month.
Oh, excellent.
And so I had written all the songs with just drum loops, stripped everything down to its core. I wanted really riff-driven songs that I could, do a real concise record. And, on stage you can take it wherever it needs to go. But I wanted to do a record that really made sense and that was marketable yet captured what it was that was the most, my strongest elements on stage. And so I played him this, and this material, and he really dug it. And of course, there was no bass on it. So it's like, this is for you to, carve out and step in and figure out, put your mark to, which was not a problem, And, he and I are both very dynamic players, so we had to see, is this going to work? Is this going to be a fit? Mm-hmm. And it was. And I'm just personality-wise, musically, I'm just really thankful that our paths have crossed, and I think that the sum is greater than the parts. And when we get on stage together, it's just a lot of fun to look across stage and see him standing there.
So how'd you guys finally hook up? How'd you finally meet?
Well, I had a couple of different ways. My old guitar player from a while back, Sean McGarry, had told me that Kelly was working on some new material and wanted to kind of have some different angles, fresh angles and stuff. I was looking for some people to write with, so he said I should get in touch with her. This is 6-7 months ago maybe. and kind of put it in the back of my mind. And then I was actually playing with Bootsy's drummer, Bam, who's on tour with him right now, his new drummer. And Bam and I were gigging, and he's like, I talked to Kelly, and, she's still looking to put together a new band. So that, the name kept coming. It was kind of one of those things, the name kept coming up. And of course, I've known for Kelly for years, and we bumped into each other, like coming and going at fests and stuff, especially Cincinnati stuff. That we bumped into each other at Taste of Cincinnati one year when one was going and one was coming. Mm-hmm. And so I just, I was like, well, send her an email. So I sent her an email from her website and, just said, hey, I heard you're looking to maybe do some new things. And that's kind of how it all kind of came together. And then she had me over to her house, and I brought my bass over, and she played me a couple of the tunes. And there was one song, a track called One Way Ticket, which is off the new CD. And it was just this groovy, funky lick. And then so I just kind of started playing right along with it, and we just really clicked musically right off the bat. So it was real natural, didn't feel forced at all, didn't feel, so it's been great. Yeah.
Powers of the internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The age
Exactly.
we're in. Yeah.
Don't have to bang on doors anymore.
She sent me a tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool, because sometimes things just happen like they're supposed to, and it's a good fit, and you just know it feels right. And
So how long you guys been playing together?
well, we got together in October for the first time to meet. We did a record in November, and we played our first show in January.
Yeah,
so we've probably got about half dozen or so, maybe 6 to 10 shows under our belt.
Yeah.
And but it just feels like we've been playing together it feels like old souls.
And Kelly, the other thing for me, it was, she's done as much, well, probably more road work, at least as much as, I'm on the road all the time, she's on the road all the time, and that's it's a certain kind of personality.
It is.
It's really is. I mean, especially when you've done it for a long time, and most of the people I play with are kind of in that same mind space, and you've got to. That's part of the connection too. It
is, because it's hard, and you have to be willing to do all those extra things, and you have to kind of really understand that, because it's not necessarily easy, and sometimes people come in, oh, this is going to be great, and then they realize, wow,
it sounds glamorous. I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong. There's, the shows are always awesome.
They are.
That part's great, but then a lot of times you're a zombie, you're going from Pilot gas station to Flying J's,
Starbucks is the highlight of the day.
It is, yeah, or the new, little stuffed animal you saw at Pilot or whatever,
Yeah,
That's
we were
it.
kind of talking about that before the show. I mean,
Yeah.
By the way, you can follow me on Twitter at Kelly Richey, but you can also follow the band, Kelly Richey Band, and see what these road experiences are really like,
They're
because,
fun.
they're strange.
Yeah.
Strange
The flip
things
side of
Very
happen.
Twin Peaks, very David
Yeah.
Lynch, yeah.
Sometimes it's like a Spinal Tap movie. I guess.
Yes.
More David Lynch, I think, than Spinal Tap. Yeah, very David Lynch, yeah.
Yeah, life on the road's tough. It breaks a lot of guys up early.
It does.
It kind of amplifies differences. It's like living with someone.
And we've both been in bands where some of the people have been casualties of the road, and they just can't take it, So
Yeah.
it's like you really got to keep your you got to keep in good shape, as good shape as you can. I mean, you got to both mentally and physically. I mean, it's and I read James Brown's book, his autobiography, and he said, I started off traveling in a station wagon, then went to a van, then went to a tour bus, and went to a private jet. And he said, the road is still the road. Doesn't matter what you travel in. Doesn't matter. You're still
Your stuff's still in a suitcase.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't fit in a suitcase, it's not going to be with you. You know, and those people that you love aren't necessarily going to be with you, and you're not going to be there for them. And so that's asking a lot of everyone.
Extended vacation.
Yeah, just think when you go on vacation how tired you are when you get home. And that was a vacation.
Multiply that time.
Well, for me, the toughest part for me actually is when we do little small stints. I feel I like it better when I'm out for a long, just in terms of like my
Mentally.
body and physically, your body kind of starts to adjust. Like it's when you do like 3 or 4 days and then come back home, and 3 or 4 days come back home, you're just always like semi-schizophrenic and your body never really adjusts. But when you're out for a longer period of time, you just kind of you get in that zone and you just kind of ride with it. Then
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
True. So you got the drummer in the band. What's her name?
Her name's Jen Yates. She hails from Louisville, Kentucky.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't want to pronounce that one. I was like that. I'm like, wow, that's tough. And what is that? I'm not sure.
That's Jen, and she's a very powerful force on stage as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like very Cream-esque.
Yeah, very much.
That's a good
very
one.
Much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It took us a while to find the right drummer too, and she's she fit right in. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you guys got the new band. You got a new tour, I guess. You guys are going intercontinental.
Yes, we'll be going, weaving our way back and forth across the border in April to Canada and then back, and then back into Canada and then back, so.
Traveling through the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
Upper Midwest.
Yeah, upper
right.
Midwest,
Yeah.
and then maybe Colorado. We don't know. We're still getting the last couple of pieces to the puzzle to fall in place.
Colorado would like you guys.
Oh, I love playing the Denver, Boulder
Especially
area.
with the latest legislation that just passed.
Yeah, right.
I love you guys now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I had some people that were just out there for the further shows last week. So yeah, it's a good part of town. You guys are playing a big festival, or what's the deal up in Canada?
That's a Blues Society event up in Manitoba, sorry. And I just got word yesterday it sold out.
Oh,
so
good.
that's
good
wanted
to
to
hear.
find a media list for my publicist, make sure it was well promoted. He's like, no worry about that. It's been sold out for weeks. So it's like, cool.
That's great.
And then we come back, and then we work our way over, and then we go back up and we play in Calgary, a really cool club called the Blues Can. And it looks like one of those old army barracks that's, round.
Oh, the Cuisinart hut.
Yeah, that Gomer Powell was in.
Yeah.
And last time we were there, some film crew was there shooting a video. I mean, it's a cool place. And so we'll be there for a couple of nights. Then we go up to Edmonton to play this 100-year-old hotel. And it's a little funky, but it's the only blues bar in North America that has music 7 nights a week. So we do 6 nights straight there, and fortunately there's a Starbucks right across the street, and a health food
Great.
store right around the corner, and a gym within driving distance.
Yeah.
Thanks to Google, you can find all that info
That's
beforehand.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
I've played
stumble
there
around blind
2
enough.
other times, and it's a cool place to play. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Canada more kind of up towards the Great Lakes, but you haven't been that far west. But yeah, every time I've gone out there, I'm just marveled by the beauty of the country.
Yeah,
when you get out
there's-
there. It's so rugged.
It really
Right.
is. It really
I
is.
mean, it's
Well, and then, I haven't been west. I played Toronto a bunch, and Toronto, it's like, you'll walk by someone's house. I remember walking by a house, and someone had like a beautiful set of conga drums sitting on their front porch.
Yeah.
Door unlocked. It's like,
Yeah.
just it was
A-
bizarre. Just sitting.
Different- yeah.
And Toronto, it's like very metropolitan city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the Canadians are a trusting lot.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
I guess
when
it
I
was
was
good
in
for-
Denmark playing, I was walking down the street, and there was several baby strollers just sitting out next to a
Unattended?
high-rise. Yes, and the promoter that I was with, I freaked out. I was like, do we need to call 911? He's like, why? I said, well, because there's babies. He said, people are putting them out to get some sun. And there's a little baby monitor sitting in the carriage. I said, he goes, why? What's wrong with that? I said, well, they steal babies where I come from.
Steal anything in America.
Exactly.
Right.
He's like, wow. So, yeah, it's interesting when you travel abroad. There's, it's a big world, even though it's very small in many respects, because we find out what's going on to the second, But it's a big world and different cultures and different, values.
That's what I tell a lot of the people. The problems with kids these days is with their iPhones, they have pretty much mankind's knowledge in the palm of their hands. So
Yeah.
they need to listen to you.
Yeah, and
listen to you, old guy.
Yeah, I just
yeah.
think
I
when
can
we
tell
were
you what that
young,
says right
we
here.
knew everything. I was so much older then.
Yeah,
You know.
Your mom can't say you don't know anything because now
Yeah.
they do.
They do. They do, and how are we going to sort all that out? Because there's a big difference between knowledge and wisdom,
Yeah, that's what I keep telling them.
But we all have to find that out on our own.
Exactly.
At our own
Exactly.
pace.
There's only one way to do that. Age,
Yeah,
right?
walk right into the wall.
Hey. So you guys have been playing together for a couple months. You guys are going out and tour together. You got a new album coming out, which I'll be playing some tunes from a little bit later after the interview. Can you guys, I know individually what you guys sound like. What do you guys sound like together? Describe your sound.
What was the word that,
What blues you can funk with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can funk with?
I mean, it's
Good
still, so many people ask me because, I've kind of gotten under the umbrella of being a funk player that, what it was like to jump over to the blues world. And to me, it's under the same exact umbrella. It all stems from the other thing. I mean, Kelly, to me, is a very, very funky player. Early Funkadelics, like that stuff's all just blues, and it's, and I started off in a blues band when I was a kid. So it's, to me, it's not much of a stretch, really,
not
as much
really a
as people may
stretch
think
at
it is.
all.
It's just more just kind of making the,
Sonically, getting it to all fit in the same box, I think, is the only, thing that we continually have to do, because the moving parts work very well together. And then when we get on stage, there's a lot of dynamics, and so it's like bouncing off of each other. We just do that so well.
Well, and you guys, after being familiar with the catalog and watching a lot and listening to a lot of your albums and stuff, you guys have the ability to improvise.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. Turn the corner
exactly.
Like that.
And like a lot of people, when I said, Freekbass is going to be joining the band, well, not a lot of. There were a couple of people that said, "Oh no, what's that going to do to your sound? Are you going to change?" It's like, this is.
Kelly.
I said, do not be, because they didn't know.
Right.
It's like they were more of the traditional blues sound. It's like you need to just sit down. Strapped in and listen, and they loved it. Oh my God, they were like, oh, so I think a lot of times we think funk, and then we think blues, and we think rock, and we think country. I was watching the Eagles' new video that's out. I'm very influenced by other music besides blues. I come from blues-based rock. I come from Kentucky, the heart of Kentucky. I've played in country bands. I gigged for several years as a drummer 6 nights a week in a country band, 5 sets a night. So I mean, there's a lot of influences that we have. And a lot of my licks, because I'm not a good country player, but I stole everything from that genre that I could, and I've incorporated it into my style. So there's a lot of hidden, when you look behind the curtain, you see the wizard just back there pulling the little knobs.
Just watch that the other night.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, and it really comes down to, I think, an organic blend. So, like when Freekbass first started playing, he was playing Cream, Jack Bruce, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And I'm very funky, probably funkier than I realized, because when he tells me that I sound funky, it's like, oh, I sound funky. Yeah, exactly. I know I have a strong right hand. I know I'm very percussive and very rhythmic. But in the blues genre, I've never really used the word funk. I've been more like a percussive player.
Right.
But now with him, it's like, and then thinking, well, funkadelic. It's like, duh. I mean, I love their music, and I never really thought about that until it's like, well, here we are, really with that dynamic, funk, blues, psychedelic. It makes perfect sense, and it's already been done, so it's not even new.
Right.
But nothing's new.
I mean, like, think of the quote-unquote jam band word. I mean, what does that mean now? What band? Like, okay, do you sound like the Grateful Dead? Do you sound like Fish? Do you sound like?
It's like saying I want an omelet.
Disco Biscuits, right? Which are verging on the electronic side of things, and then you pop it. Yeah, there's so many different. It's such a huge, and that's kind of like blues and funk. And it's such. Everything's so mishmashed now that it's like
Yeah.
Pretty much jam band just means you can just play long.
I think of playing live. I think bands that play live. You got to be able to play live is the way I look at it.
And to take that magic carpet ride, where you get in that zone and you go for it with each other. It's improvisation. Probably jazz is the best template that we have.
Right.
I mean, and then it's where we've taken it, where we stretch out. It's all about improv. And, when you have a good chemistry between players, which I feel that Freekbass and I really have, and Jen, it's like when you have that chemistry on stage, then, that's when it starts. That's where it's like, what's this going to be? And we're just starting, and it's like, wow, if there's already this chemistry, I can't imagine.
And I've played in a lot of different groups and stuff before, and this is not just me being in the band, but there's certain like combinations you put together, and there's kind of like that little magical thing that happens. Sometimes it's still really good, but that magical thing doesn't necessarily happen. It's not a matter of being. And with me, myself, Kelly, and Jen, you can just see it. You can see it more from how the audience reaction, people's faces. What you're getting back from them, and we're getting a lot of that for early gigs that we've done, even that there've only been around a dozen or so. You're definitely sensing that.
People are excited.
People are. Yeah, and smiling. Big smiles on their face and enjoying. And there's certain songs we're doing now that are just starting to setting, or I keep saying setting. Rising Sun is this track we do that's on the album, but live it's kind of taken on this whole new.
This whole psychedelic, beer bottle slide.
People don't want us to stop, and you get people doing these like getting jiggy with it when they dance and stuff. It's like, whoa, what are you? You're moving like that?
We ended it the other night, and somebody else, do it again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Reprise.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the songs. It was one of my favorite songs on the record, but it doesn't sound on the record like it would be the big explosive jam band thing, you know.
Yeah.
And boy, it is.
Yeah, live. It just the
It's
interpretation
like,
live just has a
whoa.
whole new kind of thing to it.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You think a song, off your album is going to be #1, and it drops, and some song you don't think is going to be good,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden
Yeah,
there's a...
because I wrote the song on an acoustic guitar, you know.
Yeah.
It's about, it's about a breakup of a relationship, saying to him, it's like, when you get up in the morning, I want you to think about me, now that this is all done. So, it was from a
And we've
folk
had like
rock place.
3 or 4 reviews of the shows, like totally different parts of the country, like Louisville, Indiana, like different places. And every review they mentioned that song live.
Yeah.
Without even knowing, there's nothing on our press release like that's pushing that song or anything. It's just that's the one they always grab.
They always gravitate towards to comment on.
Well, they'll have to try to play that next week.
And it's nice to hear somebody say something about that song instead of Hey Joe. I love Hey Joe, but and I'll continue to do it because it's that thing that I do, but it's really nice when that starts getting competition from an original tune.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. That's pretty much outpouring of your heart.
Yeah.
And that's you. I mean, there's I forget who it was, but they were talking about songwriting and how it's pretty much exposing yourself naked for everybody.
It is. It is.
Just put yourself out there to write a good song, and that's why it's so scary for some people. That's why some people like the Grateful Dead employ lyricists, like Robert Hunter or
Sure, right.
or Bray Love or whoever. It's tough. It's tough.
Yep, no doubt.
So you guys are going all over the place. Touched a little bit about your musical influences there earlier. I know probably Bootsy Collins, a big influence on you, the early part.
Sure, yeah. I mean, growing up in Cincinnati, people say, if I grew up in a different part of the country, I'm sure I'd be playing music still full time, but not, I don't know for sure if it would be funk, just because, Cincinnati, it's always been, since I've been a little kid, it's always been around, obviously Bootsy, and then, Midnight Star, and like all the, you're always hearing that Zap was a huge, I remember hearing like Zap out of boomboxes when I was a kid.
For listening to
Yeah,
Zap.
that cowboy hat of yours could have taken on a whole different flavor.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. You're right, especially down in Austin or something.
That and some cowboy boots.
That's right. So I think that the funk stuff will always, but as much as traditional, and then like the Beatles. I'm a huge Radiohead fan. I love Daft Punk. I mean, I'm like just like Kelly was saying, it's not just it's everybody in media wants to kind of pigeonhole you as one thing, but it's really it's pretty wide variety. Eagles. I love the Eagles. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I watched this thing on Netflix about the making of the Damn Those Torpedoes record. And that was like,
classic.
It was great. It was incredible.
Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, there's such great music out there. Look at Fleetwood Mac. I mean, quote, they were a blues band, and I played folk rock for the first half of my life. I was in folk duos, that was what I played, and I was in a band called Stealin' Horses on Arista Records, and we called that acid bluegrass. I'm not sure quite what it was. It was folk rock, but I was the acid. That much I know.
And talk about your interests. I know you've got a charity you're involved in, correct?
I do. I started a nonprofit called Music for Change back in 2005, and I became an artist on tour for the Cincinnati Arts Association in 2003. And what I really wanted to do was work with at-risk kids, because I had struggles in school, dyslexic, had learning disabilities, but had a strong IQ, and that doesn't necessarily prove that you can get through the system well.
Like standardized stuff.
Yeah, and although the educational system has broadened its ability to be able to deal with those situations, I'm really glad for that. Sure. But my goal was to do that, and I ended up with a blues history program and doing these big assembly programs for 1,200 kids, which really wasn't my goal. I'm happy to do it, and I enjoy doing those. But there is a Blues in the School program, and what I really wanted to do was work with at-risk kids. So I continue, because as I travel so much and everything, I continue to really find a good way to turn music for change into something that can build commerce and support build a bridge between the community and schools, and try to really, I'd like for kids to realize, if music's or arts are what you want to do, you really need to be prepared in this world. Talent is it's a nice thing to have, but preparation is whether you're going to succeed or not. And so, I'm still trying to find a way to kind of hit a stride with that, and it would be my dream that I could incorporate the band into that, and that we could work seamlessly in schools and do festivals and concerts and help use some of the money that we make to help fund some of these ideas. And so I continue to partner with people. I have, curriculum that's been written and some programs that are still in their pilot phase. But, that is a conversation that is still not fully off the ground, but I operate under the premise of Music for Change and do school programs when I can, but really want to see that come full circle here in the coming years. And I have my own record label. I do most of my own booking and management and everything. It's like I've signed up for a lot, and I have to humbly admit that there's only so much you can do.
Plus being on the road all the time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but I see light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to get pieces and parts in place to where I'm not doing all of those things, because it would definitely be best if I played the guitar. It's kind of what I'd like to do one day. That's my real dream in life, is I get to play guitar.
Exactly. So you got the charity. That's always a good thing, bringing music to kids to hopefully turn their lives around. And while we're on the topic of interest, I got to ask you, since you're in studio here, what's your favorite comic book character?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. I mean,
What did you read the most of?
Probably, I always dug, Batman, just because of the fact that he really didn't really have superpowers. It was more just like this eccentric, crazy guy that, put on some cool clothes at night and went.
Did you run around in a cape? Because I had a Batman cape.
Oh, I had plenty of capes growing up.
Wow, yeah.
Many capes, yeah. And the X-Men too. That was always cool, because it was, the whole concept of, the superhero thing. It wasn't just the idea of them having the superpowers that I was drawn to. I think it was also the idea of the outcast side from society.
I was just discussing,
which is why the X-Men thing was so, same thing,
Being a mutant automatically. No
Totally.
matter what you do, good or bad, you're an outcast.
Yeah,
Different
and
from everybody else.
a musician definitely, you have that quality too,
Teenager or musician can relate to that. And any teenage kid feels awkward. Doesn't matter how cool it is. Brad Pitt.
That's true.
Right.
All those cool kids, they were uncool teenagers at one time.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
everybody can relate to that, be it Peter Parker.
Right.
And then when you go to your reunion, you realize the cool kids are...
Oh, I loved it,
Yeah.
I always tell people I go to the
cool
reunions
adults.
to see who turned into a funny and who turned into the money.
Right.
The ones that were up here, down here now.
Yeah.
And the ones that were here get elevated.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's always great seeing that.
Yeah.
So I had to ask you that question.
Oh, big time.
I saw you were a big comic book.
Huge. I'm so excited about the new Superman movie coming out this year. Because the last one was such a disappointment, the one that came out 3 or 4 years ago. And this one, it's Christopher Nolan, who did the Batman series, which I love. The Batman, I think he's the executive producer on this, and it looks like they're taking more of a realistic, more darker kind of aspect to it, like the Batman movies were. So it looks like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's good to take that 4-color superhero like Superman, the all-American dude.
And then make him human, basically.
Yeah, we were just discussing that DC, like the goody-goodies on the DC side versus
Marvel.
Wolverine and
Right.
the baddies are here.
Right. But, Batman's DC, which is. But
having your parents killed in front of you.
Yeah, that's pretty dark.
Way to start things.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So he's the one exception, I guess.
You're right. Batman definitely is the one exception.
Yeah, that's what makes him so cool.
But it sounds like in the Superman movie, not to get on the, but they're going to really explore in his childhood, like dealing what you were just talking about, like the thing of having all these powers and being the outcast, it's a society thing. It looks like it's going to kind of go that route, which would be good.
Yeah, I mean it'd be socially awkward being stronger and faster than everybody, but I'm sure I'd get used to it real quick.
I think I would too. Yeah. The flying part wouldn't be too bad.
Oh man, think of our touring possibilities if we could fly.
Yeah.
I get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got a little off topic there. Maybe that's why they call me Ramblin' Rob here. Where do you guys have in town or around, we'll say the U.S., since you guys travel so much, where's your favorite place to play at in the U.S.? Or we'll just say the world.
I'll say actually, not to, I know we'll talk about tomorrow night's show, but one place we're playing actually next week is one of my favorite clubs. We play a smaller club, but I love it. It's Cosmic Charlie's, which is in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah,
love Cosmic Charlie's. And the people that down there really get it down there. The scene's really happening. And when this album came out, we actually recorded probably 3 blocks away from where Cosmic Charlie's was. The whole album was done in Lexington, Kentucky at a great studio, Shangri-La Studios down there. So it's a really burgeoning and really eclectic scene down there, always happening. So when we had this, it was like called Kelly, and we were talking. It's like, when we do the CD release, it's got to be at Cosmic Charlie's. So
that's gonna be cool. That's next Friday.
Next Friday night, the 8th.
Yeah, but tomorrow night we're going to be doing our CD release party here in Cincinnati, over on the west side of town. And it's at a relatively new club called Legends Nightclub. And it's on Harrison Avenue. And it's a really nice club.
Yeah, really nice.
So, I know that it's, ever since
reminds me of a New Orleans type club. Like when you walk in, it has that New Orleans almost kind of feel to it. Yeah.
And so I know that sometimes people in Cincinnati don't travel to the west side. And sometimes people from the west side don't travel to Cincinnati. But I want to invite all of you from Cincinnati to travel to the west side with us. And, it's a great club, and there's a really nice Italian restaurant like right next door that you can order.
Yeah, it's really
and they'll
good,
deliver right to your table there. Yeah, so you can come and eat, and I would call and try to reserve a table. I think it's probably going to be a good turnout. It's looking like a great turnout. So, but it's our CD release. We start at 8 o'clock, 8 until 11 tomorrow night, Friday at Legends on Harrison Avenue. The Kelly Richey Band CD release.
Yeah, with Freekbass.
Freekbass.
Yeah, well, that's good. And people I guess there'll be you'll have a stack of CDs there for people to
We'll have 2 stacks.
2 stacks? And a couple boxes.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you guys, really want to have a good time, definitely check them out, because it's guaranteed it's an early show where you can go to dinner or order some Italian next door. Get some nice pasta, I guess, and watch the show and be home, in time for the work day.
That's right.
You guys got a lot of places you guys play live, like I said. You guys have the album, the tour, the new people playing with you. Do you guys see yourselves playing together for a long time together? This current incantation of the Richey Band.
It would be, and I'll just answer this without looking to my left to see what he thinks. But this would be
Don't
my.
put you on the spot.
No, this would be my hope for the project, that it has enough success that we can play together long term in a way that allows us to also pursue other interests as well. Because I really love taking the stage with an electric guitar. I also like doing ambient material. I also like teaching. I do life coaching. There's a lot of things that I think Freekbass and I both enjoy doing, and I would really like to see this being something that we could really do successfully together, and it help be a springboard for those other things and vice versa.
I was when Kelly and I first got together, when we were trying to map out both on each of our heads how is it going to work us playing together. The way I kind of described it is, and again, I'm not trying to necessarily compare myself to this particular player, but I say kind of think of about someone like Bela Fleck and the Fleck Tones. There's Bela and Victor and Future Man and stuff like that, but everybody still goes off and does their own thing too as well. So that's kind of the loose blueprint of what we're looking at.
Because
like
I put together the Kelly Richey Band because there were certain things that I wanted to ensure that I could do. But there's other things I want to do too, Right. So, I really enjoy, kind of bringing the opportunity for us to have a stage to step onto and make this kind of music. But I also know that, we all have our own strengths, and we all have many different influences and varieties of projects that we want to be able to do. Right. And if we work together well and play our cards right, we should be able, every one of these, to help build and tip the hat to the other which would be in a perfect world a really nice scenario.
It's like special guest appearances on albums.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we're just starting to kind of scratch the surface with this, even, but with our bookings though, we're starting to get some, because we were talking about, the umbrella for a lot of festivals are so large that, we're hopefully going to be playing, certain festivals I'm playing that Kelly's done, and then bringing Kelly on to certain festivals that I've had success at, and trying to like kind of bridge those gaps too, so it all kind of works to, all works together for one thing.
So I think that I think there's a lot of mutual respect, and there's some dancing we have to learn to do together, and scheduling wise and everything, because this is life.
And some dancing on stage, literally.
That's right.
I'm working on that part of the whole equation. Yeah.
Keep working.
Hey. Yeah.
So
Watch
you
out,
guys,
Bob Mackey.
I don't want to keep you too much longer here. We'll kind of wind things up here. I'll let you guys kind of have the forum for any, any things you'd like to say or shout out, anything you'd like to mention here before we roll off and play some music.
Please check out our website, kellyrichey.com. That's KELLYRICHEY.com. We've got a brand new video of the band doing Fast Driving Mama. That's a track off of our new CD.
It's a well put together website too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do all that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and you can see what you're gonna get tomorrow night when you see Fast Driving Mama. That's me and Freekbass and Jen in that video.
Yeah, I played that song last week. Sorry.
That's okay. And also get on our mailing list. I send out a newsletter every few weeks.
Real paper one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Digital.
Okay.
Digital. I used to do that. And I used to sit there and lick stamps and enroll friends to lick stamps, and then all my friends went away. But just check out our website, and from there you can see Freekbass's bio and have a link to his website. Jen's bio, I have a link to her website. You can find
definitely the Twitter, our new Kelly Richey Band
Richey.
at KellyRicheyBand.com.
Yeah.
Or not .com.
No.
Kelly Richey Band. We're talking
yeah.
Twitter world.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So just come check us out and
Facebook,
join our mailing.
probably.
Yeah, Facebook, absolutely. Yeah, Kelly Richey Guitarist is my Facebook. But on the homepage or on my website, there's all of those links at the bottom to our YouTube page, to our Facebook, Twitter, everything.
Yeah, I was
So
going to say, it seems like Facebook's the central social thing.
Yeah.
is.
And Kelly and I both actually, Kelly's just getting ready to hook up with them too. I already have that. You mentioned that DVD. there's a company called TrueFire.com, which they had me come do a DVD with them, but I also teach online too as well. So, I have students all over the world really. And Kelly's actually getting ready to hook up with them for the same thing. So we're basically going to be both TrueFire artists, which is this really, TrueFire.com, if any guitar players probably listening probably know about it, but it's a great online source for learning and playing guitar, bass, drums, everything.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm also doing an adult ed class at Butler Tech, where I'm doing a guitar instruction, and I teach here in Cincinnati as well as Freekbass does. We do private instruction, and I've started doing a lot of private instruction through video Skype. I have lessons that I do, hour lessons all over the country. So even if I'm in Canada, as long as I have internet, I can keep teaching.
I've always wanted to ask somebody this question. Now, as a really, really good guitarist, do you find it hard to teach people like lesson number 1 right off the bat?
No,
like
I
easy
love
stuff?
to teach.
Really? Okay.
I am so passionate about teaching. Just because you can play does not mean you can teach.
That's a valid point.
They're two very different things. Some people can do both. I am so passionate about teaching. I started teaching after I'd had a guitar just about a year and a half. And because I had a lot of wounds in the learning department, it's a real passion for me to see lights go off in young people's, heads, as well as adults. I have a lot of adult students, and I love to teach. I really do, and I know Freekbass is an excellent teacher.
I love it too.
Yeah, it's
very rewarding.
Might have to check that, check the video out once it comes out.
Yeah.
Well, I got a djembe. Will they teach me how to play a djembe?
I don't know if they're djembe players. Yeah, but Johnny V, they're getting ready. I just hooked up. I don't know if you knew Johnny Vidakovich is. Johnny V is a famous drummer from New Orleans, but I did play with him at Jazz Fest last year, and he's going to be. He might even be the first drummer, but he's on the online teaching. Johnny V is going to be one of their drum teachers. He's Stanton Moore from Galactic used to study with Johnny V, so he's got that very New Orleans kind of sound. But he's going to be one of the True Fire drummers on there. Yep. Yeah.
Excellent.
You guys want to add anything else before we roll out of here?
No, just come to the show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. Hope to. I don't play here a lot. Kelly doesn't play here a lot, so we hope when we do get to play here, we hope to see a lot of familiar faces out there.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate that.
You guys get your fill of Skyline when you're in town?
Well, I'm a vegetarian, but they do actually have they have the beans and rice thing here now, which I love. So I do dig that. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks again for coming in. I really appreciate it. And like they said, if you're not busy tomorrow night, you can check out two veritable legends in the Cincinnati music scene, Freekbass and Kelly Richey. Been playing around for decades and playing with some pretty big people out there, getting well known across the United States and the world.
Real quick, Rod, I mean to interrupt you. One thing worth mentioning, since we're mentioning players on the album, there's a track that Bernie Worrell actually played. We brought him in to play keyboards on one track too,
Talking
Heads and P-Funk. Yeah. So that's on the new album too as well.
Honor. Yeah.
Huh. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah. Everybody needs a change.
Everybody needs a change.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to roll off here and get to a little music. Thanks again for stopping in, guys. Hopefully
Thank you so
for
much.
having us.
A success tomorrow and the new tour. Hopefully a success. A new album. Hopefully
Yes,
it'll be a success.
yes.
And the new band. Hopefully
That's
it'll be a
right.
success.
That's right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sure you guys got any more radio gigs in Cincy? You got one tomorrow, maybe?
We just did WNKU. We did their Studio 89 last week.
Fox in the morning, right?
We've got Fox TV tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
At 9 a.m. we're going to be on.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that then.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
Get up and have
work.
coffee and watch,
That's right.
watch the crazy ones
That's
on
right.
TV.
That's funny. All right, well, we're going to get on with a tune here by the Kelly Richey Band.
Too long. Said I'm a fast driving mama, can't stay one place too long. When you wake up in the morning, well honey, how they gone? So keep your hands on the wheel and your mind between the lines. So keep your hands on the wheel and your mind between the lines. Now I don't need nobody telling me nothing, 'cause I'm fine. Nothing, 'cause I'm fine.
All right, well, that was a Smokin' Kelly Richey Band, Fast Driving Mama, off their new album. And you just heard Kelly Richey. That's right. They're going to be in town. You guys can check them out. Going to play some more stuff for you here. Going to play a little bit of Victor Wooten. We were just talking about old Victor Wooten in here. So I've got a solo from Victor from Let's see, 2004, April 6th, right down the road, Lexington, Kentucky. Try to always feature some local acts, and this is one of them.
Every week, innocent bystanders are senselessly killed, with thousands of others injured annually here in the United States alone during police chases for nonviolent crimes. I'm Glenn Morshower. As a devout supporter of law enforcement, I'm here today because we have a problem. Police chases kill innocent bystanders every week, like Johnny Kallmeyer, who left behind a devastated family, including 13 brothers and sisters, or Kristen Saragusa, a fun-loving mother of 2. These deaths are no accident. Pursuit Safety does not want this to happen to your family. We're working for a safer way. Please visit pursuitsafety.org to learn the facts.
One thing that puzzles me is the makeup of your audience. It seems to be predominantly young boys.
Well, it's a sexual thing, really. Aside from the identifying that the boys do with us, there's also like a reaction to the female to our music.
They're quite fearful.
Yeah,
that was my theory. They see us on stage with tight trousers. We've got, armadillos in our trousers. I mean, it's really quite frightening, the size.
Yeah.
And they run screaming.
Alright, that was a bass solo from Victor Wooten by the Fleck and the Fleck Tones. The Humane Society of the United States, in its constant battle to end animal neglect, cruelty, and abuse, encourages Americans to take the following actions in support of animals. Make sure your pet wears an ID tag and is microchipped. Make sure your pet has a complete yearly physical exam. Make sure you have a plan for your pet in the event of a disaster. And make sure your pet is neutered and or spayed. For more information, go to www.humanesociety.org. This message is brought to you by the Humane Society of the United States. And speaking of good causes, like the Humane Society, WAIF Community Radio is solely sponsored by memberships, underwriting, and grant contributions. Memberships can be obtained at any time by calling 749-1444 or 961-8900. Membership is granted to anyone donating a minimum of $25 to the Real Stepchild Radio of Cincinnati, Incorporated. Memberships include voting rights at the annual membership meeting. In addition, all members receive our program guide and the WAIF alert. Please make a call today, 749-1444 or 961-8900. Or you can contact Ramblin' Rob on Facebook. He'll set you up with all you need to know to become a member here. And speaking of that, find me on Facebook, Ramblin' Rob, or send me an email, ramblinrob883@hotmail.com. If you're a local musician and you have some good stuff in your hand, send it up to me. Be more than happy to listen to it. If I like it, I'll get you on the air. If not, I'll probably just throw it in the trash or give it away as a present. So there you go. If you want to get on the radio, you also have the opportunity. We have open spots here at WAIF for programmers. That's right. You can become your own rock and roll or talk show personality by just filling out a little proposal form and getting it back to us. You can have your own show. Go to WAIF's website, www.waif883.org, to download a proposal form or stop by here Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 during our normal business hours. We'll set you up with everything you needed to know. All right, we're going to play a little bit more music here. Got some good stuff left for you guys. How about, since Freekbass was just in studio, I think I'll play this tune by Freekbass.
What kind of music do you usually have here?
Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
Basement.
All right, that was Freekbass playing his tune from his latest album there. That was called Jingy. Hope you guys liked that one. The Prince of Funk was in just a little bit ago for your listening enjoyment. So I've got some more stuff for you, but first I'm going to get to a phone interview here. Got somebody on the phone here that I've been waiting to talk to you for quite some time. Okay, Alex, I believe you're on the air, man.
Hello.
Hey, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for calling the greatest story ever told. Appreciate you spending a little time with us here, telling us about your band Oliver Hall.
Yeah, it's of course my pleasure. I'm a fan of the show, so.
Oh, there you go. We like that. Like hearing that. All right. Well, yeah, we'll just kind of run through some quick information here. You're going to be in town tomorrow with Tattered Roots, and just to give our fans a little bit of info about you guys, in case they haven't heard about you, being from Akron, Ohio. You guys, how many people are in the band?
There's 4 of us.
4 of us? Gotcha. And those guys are who?
On guitar and vocals is my friend Jim Tauscher. On bass and vocals is my friend Jim Garibaldi. On drums is my friend Lance Ballard, and I play guitar and sing as well.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. How long have you guys been together?
In our current form, since like last August, but the first time music was performed under the name Oliver Hall was in February of 2010.
Gotcha. So you guys have been together a fair amount of time. Did you guys all go to high school together? How did you guys find out about each other?
Well, actually, I'm originally from Cincinnati.
Oh, well, there you go. Small world.
Yeah, so I moved to the Akron area in 2009 and just was sort of raring to go as far as musical pursuits were concerned, and got on old standby Craigslist and just started courting musicians to join me in yet another musical pursuit. And I, had lots of different people over time, but we've settled into our current form quite nicely.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say, just listening to some of your more recent stuff, you guys do sound like you're pretty comfortable playing together. It sounds like you guys all fit together well.
Yeah, we're real happy with what we've got going on. Obviously, we're interested in constantly improving and challenging ourselves to get better as a unit, and also write new material and stuff like that. And that's something we've been working on for the last few months. But we have been kind of in the midst of our tour here, spring tour for I guess winter tour for a few weeks now, and we're excited to get back to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys have been in Cincinnati in a while, have you?
It has been some time. We've played Stanley several times. I was actually a member of a band called 4 Ohms, which kind of became the Ohms in recent years. And that started around like 1999. And I left the group in 2004, I think. And
Gotcha.
They've only just now broken up, actually. So they were together for a really long time after I was gone. But we used to play at Stanley's a lot, and at various other venues in Cincinnati. And so when it came time to decide where to bring Oliver Hall in Cincinnati, Stanley's was kind of an obvious choice. The history of the place, just with Noah Hunt, and kind of the intimacy of, the size and everything.
Yeah, it's a nice little place. One of my favorite places in Cincinnati to see live music is down there. It's a small place, but it's intimate.
Absolutely. And Steve, who handles the booking and stuff, is a real nice guy. He's been real supportive of stuff that I've been involved with over the years. And
yeah, they're real supportive of live music in general. They start having bands down there a lot, so it's good. They bring a lot of good names to Cincinnati also.
Absolutely.
So you guys got a new album coming out. Who are some of your musical influences, you know, that you guys kind of grew up and gelled on?
Well, we all kind of come from kind of different places musically. As a youngster, I was more, I think, into like Frank Zappa.
Right.
And I discovered the Grateful Dead and kind of the jam band scene around like my senior year, senior year of high school. I went on the Further tour in '98 and kind of cut my teeth on the Grateful Dead during that year. And actually in '97 I was the one just in Cincinnati. And I went to my first Fish concert in 1998, and I've been to a bunch of those ever since then. And but I also like stuff like, you know, Queens of the Stone Age, and I've had like metal periods, and you know, I kind of like everything. But yeah, Zappa and Fish and the Grateful Dead, and probably like Queens of the Stone Age and bands like that kind of tend to be, you know, my favorites. Classic rock in general.
Yeah, that can definitely hear the Fish influences in some of your tunes for sure.
Cool.
So
other guys in the band are like currently sort of like big Muse fans. They also like Queens of the Stone Age, Primus. Our bass player's real into Primus. Our other guitar player Jim shares like the love of the Grateful Dead with me. I think all of us like the Grateful Dead for sure.
Right.
And then our drummer, he's the newest addition to the group. He's actually kind of been into like metal and stuff like that, but he's also, you know, I think he told us that he played in like a reggae band and maybe a ska band at some point. So he's very well rounded musically as far as his playing, and I think that the same would probably go for his influences.
Gotcha. You guys have any certain person you are inspired by as far as when you're writing your own songs lyrically? You know, say like a James Taylor or a Bob Dylan or you know, Robert Hunter or anybody like that.
Those are all great songwriters. I personally, songwriting for me, and I'm not the only one in the band that writes songs, but songwriting for me at least is kind of a pulling together of elements, you know. It's not really something that I like consciously think about, you know, who or what, or you know, what do I want this to sound like or whatever. Things just kind of come to me, and then I kind of like refine them into something that sounds to me like it would be coherent.
There you go.
Lyrically speaking, you know, like I was an English major in college, and I've always been interested in narrative and poetry and things like that. So I think a lot about, you know, structure and stuff like that when I'm putting together like the words and stuff. But yeah, I don't know that there's any one person in particular that I'm inspired by as far as being a songwriter, although there are certainly songwriters that I respect, Bob Dylan being one.
Right.
You know. Right.
Who doesn't? Yeah, I just saw he's coming around on tour this spring, actually.
Is he still touring that guy? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You better see him while he's around.
Yeah, right. I've actually seen him several times.
Oh, excellent. So describe the Oliver Hall. Describe the band in your own words, man. Like, you know, someone asked you to describe the band in a sentence. What would you say?
Well, I would say the way we sound now is like a kind of like an in-your-face rock band. You know, like we're not like a hard rock band or heavy metal or anything like that. You know, we're a jam band in the, you know, the most basic sense of the term. But we're a little bit more like in-your-face kind of rock style jam band. We're not like, it's not like
Train
chord comping, and it's not, you know, like it's happy, it's uplifting. Like I used to always say, there was the music is anthemic.
Right.
And I basically just mean that it's kind of like happy. It's something you can really sort of like, you know,
bop around,
feel good about, you know. But by the same token, we definitely get into little jams where, we're almost kind of dark. And I think that the crowd appreciates that kind of change of pace from, the typical sort of idea of the jam band.
Exactly. Exploration is always good.
What's that?
I said exploration's always good.
For sure.
So what do you personally like about playing live? You guys play a lot of places, have played a lot of places, are going to be playing a lot of places. What do you like best about playing live music?
Well, there's just a feeling that you get from, kind of a culmination of everything that's going on when you're playing a live show. I mean, it's as much like a reward for the work that you put into keeping your chops up and, meshing with the other members of the band, as it is just like a kind of a feel-good sensation of like the respect, and I think sometimes too it can be kind of a visceral response. Like I don't know how to explain it except to say, like, sometimes you just tune everything else out, and you're just kind of like, for even just a split second, you just kind of it's as if you left your body. And I don't mean that to sound as, like, kind of crazy as it is, but it's like you just sort of, like, look down and your fingers are moving, and, like, you see the lights and you see the crowd, and everything sort of just, like, comes back in together at once, and it's like a mental crescendo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Bob Weir, I was watching an interview with him a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about singing songs that he sings all the time, and how he keeps them fresh and stuff. And he said that a lot of times when he sings these songs, like in El Paso that he's done 1,000 times, it's like an auditory hallucination. And when he's doing it, so that's a good way of putting it.
Sure.
So you guys have got a couple. How many albums have you guys had out? 4 or 5?
Well, we have 2 studio albums and 1 live album.
Okay, 3. Gotcha. And is there any place that people can check those out online?
Absolutely. OliverHall.com has our first studio album and our live album, and then Chasing the Rain is available at our shows for purchase. We're going to be putting stuff up on iTunes and things like that soon too. So
gotcha.
That stuff will be available, but we'll definitely have CDs in addition to T-shirts and pins and other things like that available to show at Stanley's tomorrow. Oh,
there you go. Yeah, it's good to have your own merchandise person, huh?
Yeah, well, the person is not always there, but the merch is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That might have been an inside joke. But anyway, you guys have any new album or anything you guys are working on in studio right now?
We're not in the studio currently, but we've been over the last couple of months writing some new songs. And we're beginning to perform 2 new songs during this tour, and I think we're going to be pulling out some new covers and probably introducing a couple of other new original songs within the coming months too. Like, the seasons of like performing kind of keep you busy to an extent that sometimes it's difficult to make all the progress with writing and stuff that you want to make, and that's a good thing. That just means you're playing a lot of shows. So like winter tour, then usually a short spring tour, and then it's festival season, and you're playing a different outdoor thing every weekend, and then when that comes to an end, then it's
I hope to see you guys around on some festivals this summer for sure.
Yeah, we'll be at the Tribal Connection Festival on May 25th. We're going to be at Nelson Ledges for the Early Bird Festival. We're going to be doing Family Roots this year. And
great
fest. We'll be doing a lot of that stuff. Last year we were at the Workout, and we hope we get to be there again this year. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that we focus on during the summer, is playing as many of those as we can, so that we can really get ourselves out there for the people who we think are likely to enjoy what we do.
Excellent. So you guys got the festivals. Are you guys planning, in addition to Stanley's gig tomorrow night, are you guys planning anywhere else in the immediate future?
Well, yeah. Actually, Saturday night we're going to be playing a free show in Columbus at the Scarlet and Gray Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like our little, 2-day tour, I guess you could say. We're going to go to Stanley's tomorrow, and then Columbus, and then next weekend, the Saturday of next weekend, we're going to play at the Winterfest put on by the people who bring you like Miami Valley Music Festival. And so we'll be doing that. Gallistic Willie's it's like us and Gallistic Willie at the end, and a whole bunch of other bands playing that show. And then the 15th, we're going to be back in Akron. We actually haven't played a show in the city of Akron for probably about a year, so that's going to be a big one for us, kind of pre-St. Patty's Day bash.
Returning to the roots, huh?
I'm sorry?
Returning to the roots, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's kind of like when I lived in Cincinnati, people asked where my band was from. I would say Cincinnati, but like I lived in Fairfield, I was born in Hamilton, so it's like, we say we're from Akron, but like we live in suburbs of Akron, so it's kind of like a metropolitan area. Like,
I'm familiar with that.
Areas
I'm familiar with that. When I used to live in a small town in Indiana, I just told people Cincinnati. It was just easier.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm really excited.
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to, so we're not really like living in Akron, but, we are kind of, that's the closest metropolitan area. Actually, this area of Ohio is really interesting because, we're, like I live probably 15 minutes from Akron proper, if that, but I'm only about 35 minutes from Cleveland proper.
Gotcha.
2 hours from Columbus, 2 hours from, like, Pittsburgh and Erie, Pennsylvania. So we've got a nice little collection of cities. We're lucky enough to be able to go up to Buffalo and play shows, which for us is about the same driving distance as Cincinnati. So a couple weeks ago we went and played up in Buffalo with a band called Aqueous.
Gotcha.
And Pigeons playing ping pong, which was really cool.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
So we make it a point to get around as much as we can, but to make use of the fact that we are so strategically placed geographically, and we hope that that's going to work for us in the long run as far as exposure and developing markets and things like that. But we've played West Virginia, Indianapolis, Louisville, Lima, Ohio, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Youngstown. So
all over the Midwest, eh?
We're trying.
Well, that's good. Like I say, I'm really happy that you guys are going to be making it out in the festival circuit. I hope to see you guys around. Family Roots and a couple other fests. There's a couple other fests I'll be going to that hopefully you guys will be playing at.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to be there tomorrow, you said, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was going to say, I've got a couple, I got some songs I want to play by you guys. I got a tune called, I think it's called Lines. I'm going to play off the Chasing the Rain. That's your latest album?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, man, I'm going to wrap the interview up here. Is there anything else you'd like to add as far as giving any shout-outs to anybody? Anything you'd like to say?
Well, we'd just like to try and get as many familiar faces out there to the show tomorrow at Stanley's as we can, and we got lots of love for the Cincinnati scene, just because I'm from there, and we've played there a lot even from the beginning, so we hope that we can get a lot of people out, and we definitely appreciate the support from the fans in the area, but also from you, Rod, and for doing what you do on WAIF and keeping it real, so to speak.
Well, thank you.
There at 88.3. I really appreciate that. So thanks for having me, and I look forward to seeing you and all your listeners out there tomorrow.
Definitely. All right, man. Thanks for calling in, Alex. I'm going to let you off the line here, and I'll get on with playing some of your music, man. I appreciate the call and look forward to meeting you tomorrow.
Great. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
Take care, brother.
See ya.
See you, man. All right, that was a live interview there with Alex Hall from the band Oliver Hall. He's going to be showing his face in town again tomorrow up at Stanley's, playing a little bit of anthemic rock for you guys, a little jam band. It's really cool stuff. Like I say, I checked a lot of it out in the last couple months, becoming a real fan of theirs. And I'm going to play a song by them off their latest album here. The album itself is called Chasing the Rain, and the tune is called Lines. So I think this is one of his favorites off the album. So here you go, guys. Enjoy Cincinnati.
Cannonball! Cannonball coming.
Tried to appease, but only tease. Moving over static lines. Continua of time and love, all reduced to simple lines. A cliche accounts of what amounts, just a reading between the lines. Remembering that everything is really just another set of lines. Renditions like the same attack for living up the finished lines. But then to concede the preconceived, wise poetic inside the lines. Space won't appease no boundaries, no matter how they draw the lines. With things they're out to make it out, even in spite of the surrounding lines.
That was Akron's Oliver Hall. Their song's titled Lines off their album Chasing the Rain. The Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County features an expanded list of reading programs for both children and adults. The four main categories of events are book discussion groups, regularly scheduled story times for children, children's special programs, and adult teen special programs. For more information about events at the main library or any of the other 41 branches, call 513-369-6900 or visit online at www.cincinnatilibrary.org. And this is Ramblin' Rob, your host for the best in live Grateful Dead, jam bands, and local music. You can tune into The Greatest Story Ever Told Thursdays 1 to 3 p.m. on WAIF 88.3 FM Cincinnati or online worldwide at www.waif883.org. Your host, Ramblin' Rob, will take you on a musical journey unlike any other, playing all the best Grateful Dead, jam bands, local bands, live music, and musicians. Tune in with your third ear to hear all that is unsung. Find Ramblin' Rob on Facebook. Request your favorite song. Drop me an email. Or just stop by to play me a tune. The music never stops on The Greatest Story Ever Told, so listen to my rare and different tunes every Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. One watch by night, one watch by day. If you get confused, listen to the music play. And that being said, we're going to get on with a quick little section that we regularly feature here called News. Let you guys know what's happened in the jam band scene. The National just announced a new album and tour. Check them out online. Great little band there, Mr. Lauderdale's band. Primus just announced that they are going on a 3D tour this spring, 2013. Get dates online from their website. 9 Inch Nails adds a new tour and a new lineup to go out on tour. You can check them out online as far as dates and places. Summer Camp adds a bunch of new artists. Papadosio, Victor Wooten, and a couple more good ones there. Humphreys McGee, they're going to be playing Red Rocks in June, so save your money up if you'd like to see them out there. Also, there is a 8-night run for Further that they just announced up at the Capitol Theater. So you're going to be getting 8 nights of Further at the Capitol. Sounds like a great time. Also, Delfest, got some new additions there. Great little fest it's lining up to be. You can check out their website. Also, a new album in the works here. It just came out, Miles Davis and Quincy Jones live at Montreux. So check that one out. Sounds interesting. Railroad Earth with Galactic and Green Sky Bluegrass are going to be playing Red Rocks too. Check out dates online. And also we got a new addition to the Mickey Hart Band on drummers and keys. Check out the name of that person and more information on Mickey's website. He's always good for some free music downloads too. Going to run through one more quick little thing today in Dead History in case you guys missed it today. It's a real short one. 1969 saw the boys playing Fillmore West. 1970, the epic venue in my opinion, Family Dog at the Great Highway, San Fran. That was a show that they did an acoustic and electric set. And they also played Mason's Children for the last time on that date. 1973, the Salt Palace, Salt Lake City. That was the last time they played And We Bid You Good Night. And the last time they played today's date was 1981 at the Uptown Theater in Chicago. So we're going to get on down the road with a little more music. I really hope you guys enjoyed Freekbass and Kelly Richey, who were in here just a little bit earlier as much as I did. I'm still kind of giddy with excitement. So we're going to get a little bit of jamming going on here. This is our special guest section I announced last week where people from different bands sit in with the Grateful Dead. This is two of the guys from Santana's band. I believe is Grandmaster and his protege there. So both the drummers from Santana we're sitting in with the Grateful Dead. The date, 5/11/1969. The venue, Aztec Bowl, San Diego State University.
If I were to ask you what your philosophy of life or your creed, what would that be?
Have a good time all the time. That's my philosophy, Marty.
Are you the police?
No, ma'am. We're musicians.
I remember when a dime bag cost a dime. You know what I mean?